And Musab bin Umair, when was he killed? Was he killed in the offensive or when Khalid bin Walid came? Most likely Mus'ab was killed by the forces of Khalid. And again, this is one of those issues that we're trying to piece together when things happened. Most likely Mus'ab was killed by the forces of Khalid. And he was targeted because unlike those who were taking booty, he was still carrying the flag. So he was one of the first targets for the contingent of Khalid bin Walid. Now again, we're assuming it's Khalid. The books don't mention who did it. It just says this happened. But the point being, if the Muslims were so victorious in the beginning, it's difficult to imagine Mus'ab being killed so brutally. So my ijtihad, and Allah knows best, Mus'ab is killed in the second half. And that is Khalid. And this makes complete sense now. Because his story is also very gruesome. And that is that, now of course Mus'ab is that young man we know that his father was one of the richest traders of Mecca, and he was known for being the most spoiled prince of Mecca, that he would wear a new qamis every day or a new garment every few days, that he would buy the most expensive perfumes. His mother was well known to be spoiling him completely. His mother would give the best of garments and things to him, and he was tortured by his own mother and father. As you know, he was literally locked up by his own mother and father. His own mother deprived him of food and water when he converted to Islam. The same woman who gave him perfumes and the most expensive garments, now that he gave up idolatry and worshipped Allah, she locked him up and deprived him of food. He had to break his chains and run away to Medina. He was the first muhajir to Medina, remember, right? Because he had no house in Mecca. He had no place to live. So the Prophet ﷺ sent him to Medina 2 years before the Hijrah. The first muhajir to Medina was Mus'ab. And his role was dual. Number one, to run away from Mecca. Number two, to preach to Medina. If you remember the story, we talked about it, right? And because he was intelligent, because he was of a noble class, he knew how to interact with people, he won the hearts and mind of the Ansar. And at his hands, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided every single tribe had Muslims because of him. This is what the books of Seerah say. Every tribe, there were members that converted at his hand, right? So this is Musab bin Umair, and he was known for being gentle and loving. And because he was young and now he was penniless, he never got married as well, because he does not have any money at all. And in the battle of Uhud, as we know, he died a tragic death. Of course, it is an honorable death as well. And that is that he was holding the flag, and one of the mushriks came, and again we are assuming this is Khalid's force, so he doesn't have Muslims around him to defend him, so his right hand is cut off, and he then holds the flag with his left hand, and now he is completely defenseless. The left hand is cut off, and to remain that izzah whatever he can, he takes the two stumps and then holds the flag with those stumps. And of course he is waiting for shahada. There's nothing left for him to live, there's no defense basically, and he is killed. Multiple stabs and wounds simultaneously, he is killed. And this is why, as I said, it makes complete sense that this is happening in the counter-offensive. Right? This is happening when Khalid is now coming in. Most likely, and this is my reconstruction, the first person they're targeting is the flag bearer. Because that's the whole point. They need to show the symbolism. We're back now. Khalas. So the first person they target is a flag bearer. Mus'ab falls a tragic death. And Sahih Bukhari reports the long hadith of Khabbab ibn al-Arat. Khabbab ibn al-Arat was also one of those who was tortured in Mecca, also an early convert like Mus'ab, and he lived a long life, and Allah blessed him to be a governor, and he lived in a house and with servants. Now he dies now a very different death than what he was in Mecca, right? So Allah gave him a long life. When he was about to die, Khabbab gave a moving speech that caused his people and his family to cry, that we all emigrated with the Prophet ﷺ seeking the rewards of Allah. And so our reward is with Allah. But some of us left this dunya without taking any of that reward in this world. Their full reward is in the hereafter. Of them is Musab bin Umair. Of them is Musab bin Umair. He was killed on the day of Uhud. And all that he had was the one garment that he was wearing. One, not even two. The one garment that he's wearing. So if we tried to cover up his body, if we covered his bottom half, the top half was naked. And if we covered his top half, then the bottom half is naked. And so the Prophet ﷺ told us to cover up the top half, and then basically maybe his thighs to downwards are left empty. We don't know exactly where, but again, when you have one garment like the ihram, let's say, so it's going to cover maybe to the thighs or something, or maybe to the knees. So we then covered the top half, and then we covered the bottom half with basically hay or idkhir, not hay, but yani grass or dried up leaves or something. We covered up desert grass, we put it on his feet. And as for the rest of us, he is saying we moved on in life and Allah blessed us, and now we don't know what Allah is going to do with us. Meaning, I am dying with such luxury, and my friend Musab died in such poverty. I don't know what my fate is going to be. As for Musab, Allah gave him everything in the next. He didn't get one thing in this dunya. And this is of course the tragic Musab bin Umair, that no doubt he is of those shuhada in Uhud, that Allah Azza wa Jal tested him in Mecca, and Allah blessed him in Medina in the way that he did to be that type of shaheed. The story of Hanzala as well is known to you. We already mentioned